I'm a serial entrepreneur, I would say.
Serial entrepreneur?
Yeah.
Oh, man after my own heart.
I'm a VP of strategic planning for a garage door company. You know, it always comes back to getting people to trust in your brand.
So you get Google Home.
You get up every day and you love what you do. You don't feel like you have a job. Sometimes it's hard to shut it off.
What has been the biggest obstacle?
I had testicular cancer and we found a lump in my groin, so I've had cancer 4 times.
Yeah, my grandfather died of testicular cancer.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. She taught me that, you know what, we live life for a reason. And I actually left my house one night to kill myself. I couldn't handle it. It's about our happiness. If we're not living it that way, then why are you wasting it?
What are the 3 qualities that define an entrepreneur?
If you're not disruptive, people aren't going to really remember who you are.
True.
It's ontrackdoorsystems.ca, and you'll be able to upload pictures of your house, overlay garage doors.
What's the name of your book?
It's called Connecting the Dots.
When's the movie coming out? Who's going to play you? The Rock?
That's what everybody keeps on saying.
This episode is sponsored by True Sunglasses. So you get Google Home.
That's what I need for sure.
Next writer, Scott.
Hello, Scott Parker speaking.
Hi Scott, this is Uber. I'll be there in shortly, so just come outside.
Oh, sounds good, thanks.
Perfect, thank you, bye-bye. You can come in the front. Yeah, you can, go ahead. Don't mind the mess. When you're busy and you're doing stuff, you don't have time to clean, right?
The back seat becomes the garbage.
That's right. My name is Marcin.
Scott.
Nice to meet you, Scott. So we're still going to the same destination?
Yes, please.
There is some congestion on the highway, so I don't control the traffic. Not yet, anyways.
Maybe you can control the weather.
Oh, right? It was so nice and sunny yesterday. Yeah. You see a camera, right? You're on like a reality TV show. It's called the Uber Experiment, Canada's business entertainment show. Drive around Toronto and we talk to people about business, ideas, and passion. We can either drive to your destination, figure out who Scott really is, or we could just have a very dull, awkward moment.
That's kind of neat.
Yeah?
Very cool.
Yes or no?
I'm in. Let's do it.
You're in?
Yeah.
Okay, because you said yes, I do need you to put on the mic. So, Scott.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Who am I? That's a loaded question.
Right? How you taking Uber?
I gotta head into a couple of meetings. It's just, you know, one of those days where I've got multiple meetings, so easier to take Uber than to try and drive around, find parking.
Yeah, focus on
absolutely.
Mentally prepare yourself.
On a day like this, it's a little more difficult to get your brain function going.
Why?
So.
What's your business?
I'm a serial entrepreneur, I would say.
Serial entrepreneur?
Yeah.
Oh, man after my own heart.
How I define it is someone who does multiple things that he loves.
Okay.
I love everything I do. I've made some massive changes in my life in the last year. I have about 4 VP of business development jobs now.
Are they all your companies now?
I own shares in the companies. I take on, I do consulting wrapped around business development, but when I do that, I go in with taking on ownership of the company, building a 5-year plan, finding who's those ultimate clients that you want to get.
Right.
I go get them and make that happen. So I'm the VP of business development for a company called Translucent Computing, which is, they do digital transformation for big companies. So it's kind of like banks, hospitals, that type of thing. People carry digital debt. They come in, they build, they use microservices and build around the old platform, make a much more efficient way to take that information, move it out of the old system into a new one without having to rebuild the entire thing.
So you provide software services?
I do that. I'm a VP of strategic planning for a garage door company and CEO of a tech company, a startup that I started not too long ago, in the last 5 years. Dealing with investors, dealing with all of that stuff, kind of brought me back into a bit of a health issue that I've had in the last 10 years. So I've had cancer 4 times.
What?
And
4 times?
4 times. And the last time that I came back, my doctor said, you know, it's time to alleviate stress.
What kind of cancer?
I had testicular cancer, and then we found a lump in my groin, and then went into my lower intestine and my colon.
My grandfather died of testicular cancer.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow, man. Sorry to hear that.
It was a few years ago. Thank you. It's the thing is, I guess there's prostate issues in it's hereditary. The doctor said that it was impossible, that he was not in pain.
Yeah.
He just didn't want to go.
You know, I did the same thing. I found a lump, felt pain. The egotistical guy that I was said, you know, that'll go away.
What kind of lump is it?
It felt like a pea, a little hard little piece. I didn't really notice it until I was taking a shower the one day, washing myself, and I hit it, and I felt a lot of pain there.
Did you catch it early?
I was lucky. We did catch it early. The problem was I left it for so long. Figured, you know what, that'll go away. Kind of left it. 6 months later, that's when I finally went to see a doctor. And that's when I got diagnosed.
What kind of treatment do you?
So chemotherapy.
You look good with the not a lot of people can pull it off.
The most ironic thing was 2 weeks before I got sick, I woke up one day and decided I was going to shave my head, and I got my daughter to do it.
How do you handle your companies then when something like this happens? Like,
I'm pretty lucky, I would say. I met someone in my very first chemo treatment that she saved my life. She was an 18-year-old girl that I met. She was diagnosed a couple of years before I met her. She was given 3 months to live, and at that point I met her in my first treatment. I walked into my treatment, looked around, I went, no, I'm not staying to do this. I went to leave. As I did that, I looked and I seen this girl looking at me and laughing. In my head, I wasn't thinking anything nice of her at the point in time, and half hour I stayed. The nurse caught me, we talked, she went and sat down. I just started doing my treatment. Half hour into my treatment, hers ended, and she got up and just walked over and sat down with me, started talking to me about life.
Wow.
For 2.5 hours. That's what she did. After she finished her 3-hour treatment, sat with me for 2.5 hours to get me through my first one, and then she did that for every treatment that I had after that.
Wow, so guardian angel almost.
Yeah, you know what? She passed away. She left me this little pendant with an angel on it, and I believe that she guides my life. I honestly believe that every time I get sick again, it's her giving it to me, saying, hey, you know what? You're not paying attention to the things. I didn't really get into the entrepreneurial life until after I got sick. I worked at Toyota before that. It wasn't until after that she taught me that, you know what? We live life for a reason, and it's about our happiness.
Yeah.
And if we're not living it that way, then why are you wasting it?
It's true. The whole 9-to-5 mentality, work for somebody else to make their dream come true.
Yeah. When I worked at Toyota, I got hit by a forklift and tore up my knee. I went through a massive depression when that happened. I was a guy who was a hockey player, I was a bodybuilder. All of a sudden I couldn't do anything. I would say that I felt like half a man, and I actually left my house one night to kill myself. I couldn't handle it.
Are you married at this time?
I was, yeah, absolutely.
I
had 3 kids, yeah, man. So my story starts even way before that. I went through sexual abuse at 12 years old.
Okay.
Never dealt with it, created a lot of anger. That brought me into this really angry place, and I grew into playing junior hockey, was a fighter, and that's where I was able to unleash all of that, right?
Are you okay in us recording this?
Yeah, man, absolutely. What's ironic is I'm writing a book that's coming out in the next few months wrapped around all of this stuff. So
what's the name of your book?
It's called Connecting the Dots. It's a story about my life, and I'll go to publishing.
You have a ghostwriter.
I worked with a ghostwriter.
When's the movie coming out? And who's going to play you? The Rock?
Focus.
That's what everybody keeps on saying. Well, I have the same kind of tattoo, so it's a pretty crazy process. So you go through all that, but then I got hurt at Toyota,
right?
And then, man, I got up one night. I left my house. I planned I was going to drive my car into a post. Didn't do it. I happened to pull over underneath the bridge that I was going to do it in, and a friend of mine who was just got on the police force was working out in the outskirts of town, driving in, saw my car pulled over underneath this overpass, and it was pouring rain that night. Thought my car broke down, pulled over, got out, came up to my window, looked at me, and he just kind of went, oh man, what's going on? He got me out of my car, took me home. My son was just about a year and a bit, put his head on my shoulder and looked at me a certain way, and it was like, man, what are you doing? I'm here, kind of thing. Wow. And that was it for me. It was like, that was the day I started advocating for myself with Toyota. I went back to school to get a business degree, and that was when my entrepreneurial spirit started to kick in.
Let's focus on that. We have some games. Mix it up. So there's stuff, good stuff and bad stuff. So once you pull out the whatever, then we're going to say who the show is sponsored by.
Okay.
If there's nothing in here too, right? Go ahead, pick. What do you get?
Toothbrush holder?
Got a toothbrush holder. So Wish.com, thank you so much for sending a toothbrush holder. Scott gets it.
Sweet.
I feel really bad for you though. Honestly.
It's all good.
Get another one. Oh, here's another toothbrush holder. See, there's not a toothbrush holder, so you can take that out. Alright, take another one.
True sunglasses.
True sunglasses. It's true. He's going to get some sunglasses. So I'm going to give this to you in a little bit.
That's good.
So what, in your opinion, are the 3 qualities that define an entrepreneur?
Wow, man. Courage, drive, and the ability to be able to go with the ups and downs. can have the biggest of wins in the morning and have the worst thing happen in the afternoon.
It's like a roller coaster.
Oh man, and I think that's why I enjoy it so much, and why I'm good at it, is because my life's been like that. I've been training to be an entrepreneur.
Yes, yeah. So what's your current business then that you like to focus on? That you say if you're going to plug something.
There's 3 of them actually.
Okay.
So I've got On Track Doors, which is the garage door company.
My garage door just busted up on me.
Well, there you go. I'm building them a tech platform. So you log into the site, and as of November 1, you'll be able to upload pictures of your house, overlay garage doors, and I'm building a back-end system that allows us to use marketing, artificial intelligence, machine learning.
And is it just the doors, or the systems that control the doors too?
Garage door openers. There's a glass garage door you can get now that starts at $16,000.
My garage is ugly. Maybe if I had like a Lamborghini or something.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Then you just get robbed.
Yeah. So we're building a tech site for them. And then Translucent Computing, I'm doing a lot of work with them wrapped around getting them into hospitals to do their digital transformation. And then I've just taken on the presidency and ownership of a company called 9.9 Group, which is a marketing company.
Not to cut you off, but so this episode is sponsored by True Sunglasses, by True Vision.
Do they fit big heads? Because my kids tell me every day that I have a huge head. So.
Well, you're a bodybuilder. All bodybuilders are massive.
That's right. Yeah, I host a bodybuilding show as well in Guelph every year.
Really?
Yeah.
What's it called?
The Mole Muscle Fusion Bodybuilding Classic. Mole Muscle.
If you're thinking of competing in a bodybuilding championship this year, check out fusionmolemuscle.com. You get to help create an awareness program. Partner with us to help men not let fear run their lives.
Crush cancer, go more muscle.
There you go.
Ah, right.
We're good?
True.
Beautiful.
I'm gonna hold up the box, you hold up the card. Because it's all marketing, you understand.
Absolutely.
Right?
I own a marketing company.
All right, guys, right?
There we go.
You gotta say true or
true.
True.
True. I started the bodybuilding show wrapped around giving back. So it is a charity that we built wrapped around cancer awareness and men's health awareness that we raise money for to pay things that your insurance won't cover for people going through cancer.
In Canada, the treatments aren't paid?
It's not about the treatment, it's the things that come with it. So if you don't have a drug plan, there's lots of people who like to use naturopathic oncologists, that type of stuff. Some insurance companies will have a certain amount of money that they allocate for that type of thing. Yeah. So we'll pay directly to the service provider for those things that people need financial help with. How do you
qualify for something like that?
They go on the website, they reach out to us.
Case by case, I guess?
Yeah, a lot of people, we've been helping our kids, a lot of kids dealing with leukemia. Through that, I've started mentoring people going through cancer as well. So it's been a cool ride.
You seem like a very busy person, and how many kids do you have?
3, yeah.
How do you manage the work-life balance?
My kids are older. They're 20, 16, and 14. We kind of schedule that time, right? We find a way to make that work. And it's very difficult because I've now recently just come to realize that I love everything that I do.
That's the problem.
I don't feel like I work. It's every day is different, right? So one day I'm working in the marketing company. The next day I'm building a program to take a garage door across Canada. The next day I'm working with a hospital. You get up every day and you love what you do. You don't feel like you have a job. Sometimes it's hard to shut it off. Yeah. So that's the hard part. That's the learning piece.
Well, I had this lady, Jody, she was the CEO of the Bargains Group in Toronto.
Okay.
She basically said there is no work-life balance. So I want to know about work-life balance, because for me, myself personally, okay.
People laugh, but you have to treat your personal life
like a business.
Like a business.
Yeah. It's the finding that balance. It's finding ways to give time to other people outside of work and be able to shut work off.
We're talking about home life, and I want to help you.
Okay.
I want to help you because that's what we do in the Uber Experiment.
That's what I need help with.
Google! So you get Google Home.
That's what I need for sure.
You know what this is?
Yeah, man. It's kind of like the Siri's
like Alexa.
Google.
Yeah, exactly. So you can find all this and the True Sunglasses and everything else on the Uber Experiment website. This will hopefully simplify your life.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's great.
How do you feel about companies disrupting the marketplace?
You have to be disruptive. If you're not disruptive, people aren't going to really remember who you are.
Yeah.
There's lots of problems in everything that we do today, so being able to find that disruptive space, when you're able to come in and and be that leader in there, show people that you're actually doing what you want and you're accomplishing, to fix a problem. That's what disruption is.
You're just full of ideas. How do you pick the right ones now?
I'm big on, the team.
Okay.
and then the technology. But it's really a team thing. It's the idea of, if I really believe that the team has the capabilities of doing what they're saying they want to do, they're somewhat close to being able to get at least to beta, and then from there knowing that I can work with them, and then there's a need in the industry for it. That's usually what I look at, and then I prioritize them, going, what do I think I'm really going to enjoy? Comes back to me living my life, right?
Yeah.
There's a company building some, cool facial recognition stuff that is going to be amazing when they release it. I love that stuff, so I've been involved with them.
Tell me about the Singularity Project.
What? You got me.
Welcome to life. We regret to inform you that your previous existence ended on January the 14th, 2052, following a road traffic accident. However, your consciousness was successfully uploaded to the Life Network by your primary care provider.
The notion that human consciousness is going to be uploaded, so we will forever live through computers.
The idea of that, eventually we're going to learn that.
It's not eventually, it's going to happen.
What we've been living is a dream, and we're have you heard that?
Well, I've heard that. Elon Musk said on Twitter that there's a 1 in so many billion chance that we're living in an amazing...
Yeah.
The odds that we're in base reality is 1 in billions. 40 years ago, we had Pong, like 2 rectangles and a dot. That was what games were. 40 years later, we have photorealistic simulations with millions of people playing simultaneously, and it's getting better every year. The games will become indistinguishable from reality. If civilization stops advancing, then that may be due to some calamitous event that erases civilization. Maybe we should be hopeful that this is a simulation, because either we're going to create simulations that are indistinguishable from reality, or civilization will cease to exist. Those are the 2 options.
I don't watch the news. Yeah. I don't live in this world of, I live today. My life is all about today. I don't look forward into the future. I don't have a long life expectancy because of everything I've gone through. They've basically told me I have this many years, that probably in this window. I live my life now, man. What am I doing today? And I think that's probably the best way I'm able to stay in that happiness place, because when I live in the moment and I realize the cool things that I'm doing today, man, it's awesome. It's
How do your kids feel about what you're doing? Do they treat you like your regular dad, or are they impressed?
Yeah. On a daily basis, they tell me I have a fat head. Like, my kids are kids, and they keep you grounded. My she goes to the U of W. She's taking international development, which is a pretty cool course. She wants to go and learn how to build sustainable ecosystems in third world countries. Build what I'm building in a place that needs it. Right. I look at her and I'm like, wow, man, that's taken it even 10 times further than I have, which is pretty wild. But
she can carry on your legacy.
Yeah, my middle daughter is a competitive dancer, and my son, he loves tech, he loves coding.
In your opinion, what type of courses should kids be taking in university to have a secure job?
Computer engineering. Because I'm in that world, and I've been hiring people coming out of that world. Everyone wants to work for the big company like Google. There's such demand for computer engineers that you're coming out of university, mid of your class, and you're starting over $100,000 a year. Yeah. Because you're in demand. Augmented reality, artificial intelligence, machine learning, digital marketing, this type of stuff, this is where you want to be.
That's my space.
Right, absolutely. My marketing company now, that I've now taken on.
I think you should hire me.
We do massive social media work for people. The reality is guys like me, I don't have my own time. I don't have time to sit back and be doing things on social media every day.
Right. Marketing and search engine optimization, I would say, are these things that aren't tangible.
Yeah.
Companies are very reluctant in paying money, and it's big money to do this stuff. Yeah. Right? If it's done correctly and done right, then you will reap the benefits for months and months and months and even years.
And even from a standpoint of doing digital marketing, you can set a budget and say, okay, I'm going to go out, I'm going to make money that I can actually take that money and build it back into my budget to create a bigger budget. So allow your digital marketing to actually start to build its own marketing budget.
Do you know anything about raising money? What would you suggest to people who want to raise money?
Yeah.
I got this $10 million idea. All I need is just some investor to give me $4 million.
I'm trying to raise 10, 20 million. You have to be at a certain point within your company. But to get started, you're looking at angels, super angels, that type of thing, or family friends kind of investments. You have to find the right investor, the one that meshes with you. I think that was my biggest problem.
It's not just about the money. It's got to be strategy. strategy.
It's a partnership, and what's what people don't get. They sit back and they see, oh man, I can get $1 million from this guy, but the reality is you didn't take the time to realize that you're not going to work well with that guy. What that pulls away from your time within the business ends up being a lot more detrimental to the company. I actually had one of my investors actually question my commitment to my business because I chose to do chemotherapy and not work. It can be a very difficult road to go down.
Do you watch TV at all?
Yeah, I don't sleep much, so I usually watch my TV, but...
You're going to have to start watching YouTube because you got a Chromecast! This will turn any TV into a smart TV. So you can stream...
Okay.
You don't know?
No, I don't know much about Chromecast.
I'm going to teach you something.
All right.
So there's an app called Showbox. It's like a Netflix, but it's for movies that are playing in the theater. If you're connected to Chromecast, it'll just pick it up and it'll play it. I don't advocate this.
I should probably know more about this. My son would. My son fixes my phone for me still.
Yeah. Did you ever walk away from a company?
Well, I just did that with my software company. So I needed to get away from having to deal with investors. So I found that was the stressful thing in life.
Do you still need investors though?
With some of these other companies, I'm helping them find the investors. I'm building their pitch decks for them. I'm getting them with all the information they need to go get investors, but they're the ones who gets to deal with them, not me.
And then, so what do you get out of that? Like, do you get
I usually
stake in a company?
Yeah, that's usually so.
Just take a stake.
Well, usually I get a small. I'll work off of a monthly pay, and then a percentage of the business.
I get a couple projects I could pick your brain on.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm always loving to hear new things. I look at my life like this. So the money I make now is for me to have fun with. That's how I live my life. I take equity stake in companies, and I'm building this plan for my kids. Like I said, I don't have a long life expectancy, so I built this, safety net for my kids, something for them to fall back on. And I can now go, here you go. Go chase your dreams because you have this to fall back on. Most people are afraid to go, go to school, take something that you might not enjoy, and then have to take something else. My goal and hope is my kids don't come back to anything that I have. They can actually just sell it all, and it leaves them some money to be able to go and enjoy their lives with their families.
If you were in this alternate universe and then you found like a 5-year-old version of yourself, what would you tell yourself?
Oh man, the one thing I had to learn, and you asked me what I failed at in life, I would say, until I got sick, I never knew how to let people in. I didn't know how to let people help me. I was the guy who helped everybody else. I had that, jock ego, that whole protector thing. But when I went through my cancer, I didn't let anyone be around me. Pushed everybody away. I can understand because I've been there and it happens with people, but I now understand the cause and effect it has to the people you're doing it to. If I was able to, go back and be 5 years old and I wanted to grow out of that, I wouldn't have so what happened to me at 12 years old, I wouldn't have just listened to that one person who told me that I can ruin someone's reputation by making those accusations. I would have actually advocated for myself and found the help that I needed. Mm-hmm. Don't let fear run your life. Don't be afraid to ask for help and live your life the way you want. Yeah.
Well said. Mm-hmm. I told my girlfriend, we have both arms, both legs. We shouldn't be complaining.
I talked about the young girl that I met in my treatment. Here's a kid who was told she had 3 months to live and then lived 5 years and wrote down everything in a book she wanted to accomplish in life before her life was over. Mm-hmm. And the one thing she always said to me was that I'll never get shorted in life. I might get shorted in years, but I'm going to live my life. And the sad part is most of us have to end up where I ended up, where we have to face something really crappy in our life to really get it. But that's what I'm trying to do for people now. Yeah. So I go into high schools, I speak to students now about what she taught me. Life's an amazing thing. It's always teaching us something every day if we're open and we have our eyes open to learning it.
This is why I love doing this. Most of the stuff that I learn from people like you, I actually implement in my daily life or routine or my business.
And that's how we get to be a better person, is learning the great things that other people around us do and aspire to have that within our personalities. We put our own spin on it, we build in our own personalities, but we take those little nuances from other people and we build them in and we create our own personality and our own brand. And that's what drives us to success. You would have told me, even 15 years ago that life could be this great, I would have been like, there's no way.
What do you do for fun?
I'm a gym rat.
Okay.
As a bodybuilder, you realize all of a sudden that you can't do certain things. Like I can't even go on a roller coaster anymore without getting a sore back.
Really?
Oh yeah, because my body's not built that way. It's not like that whole. Like I love going to Jays games. I love going to hockey games.
With all these companies that you have, what has been the biggest obstacle?
Man, it's it always comes back to getting people to really trust in your brand, trust in your value proposition.
I'm very happy you said that.
And trust in the fact that you have the right and the ability to actually come in and make a difference. Branding is like that number one piece, because if people don't trust in your brand, how do they trust in the work you're going to do? Right?
How about personal branding?
Because I've actually used my personal brand. My original startup company was called Reno Me, and it's actually got a caricature picture of me on it. It was the best thing from our business standpoint, maybe not the best from my personal life standpoint, but
the caricature itself?
Yeah, like from a business perspective, it resonated with them.
Right.
You know, I'm a bigger guy, like I said, I'm a bodybuilder and stuff like that, so being able to put in that space that I'm someone who's got your back, you know, and that's what our software did, is it covered the contractor, the homeowner relationship. It allowed everything to be, you know, transparent, and that whole concept of I've got your back, that picture of me on it, went really well.
You sign up, you sign in, your client signs up, and you're connected.
It saves a lot of time.
Define changes, align expectations, build trust.
And from the personal brand standpoint, I've also gone through a lot in life. I've battled a lot of, you know, disease type of things and gone through things. So I've built this personal brand. I was joke around that I'm either the cancer guy, I'm the guy on the truck, but they work so well together.
Right.
You know, when people hear my story, they hear what I do and the things that I do to give back and how I learned it. My personal brand creates a lot of trust with people.
So you should be a public speaker. Oh no!
So
he's also a public speaker.
I just signed with the Keynote Speakers of Canada. I do speaking at high schools, and we've just now started to push out into the corporate world.
With all this success, what still gets you up in the morning?
Man, I've learned to love life. And I always tell people, and they think I'm crazy, but the cancer was the best thing that's ever happened to me. I have no regrets. When I first found out...
How many years ago?
Originally, it was 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah. When I got told the first time right away, I went, man, like, you know, I haven't been there with my kids. I haven't done this. And, you know, and it was like, I'm never going to have an opportunity to be able to do this stuff.
Yeah. And
then when I got through it, and then I met the young girl that I was talking about and what she taught me about life, she said, you know, when you die, you die. The people around you are going to be sad, they're going to be upset, but they're going to have more life to live. And she looked at me, she said, why do you live your life for everybody else? And I looked at her and I was like, you look at, and she was 18, right? I'm looking at her thinking like, man, this is stuff I should be saying to you. The impact that had in my life was just unbelievable, because it was exactly that. It was I live my life for everybody else. I don't live it for my happiness. I've learned that it's about my happiness, and when I'm happy, I give the best Scott to everybody else. It's not something that's selfish. When you really understand what life's about, it's about you. You're the one that has the time on this planet, this world that we're in. If you don't live it to the fullest for you, do the things you love, be happy, live in that happy place, then why are you bothering? The reality is if you don't, then the relationships you have, the people you're around, they're not getting the best of you, so you're shorting them as well.
Your final advice to anybody who would want to be an entrepreneur?
I would say...
just drop you off here?
Yeah, this is good, right? Just good fun. Okay. I would say, you know, it's an awesome thing to do. I love it, but you have to be prepared for the ups and downs. You know, you have to be okay to accept some things are going to work, some things aren't, but the things that aren't going to work, instead of asking why is this happening to me, you ask why is it happening for me, and it'll always teach you something. And when you can teach you something from the negative things that are happening, then they turn into positives, and that allows you to grow.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Make sure you go check out Google Homes. I'm jealous. Anyways,
I'll let you know how it works.
Right? What do I plug for you?
What do you plug for me?
Yeah.
Well, ontrackdoorsystems.ca, 9.9group.com, and translucentcomputing.com. And soon to be Barker's Tribe.
And thank you so much to True, Google, and Wish. You thought you were just going to get a toothbrush holder, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
This is BS, man.
Look at that. Awesome.
That's all you have? So many companies, and all he needs is this.
All right, my man. Thank you so much. That was a blast.
Let's keep in touch.
Will do.
So I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you get yourself a Google Home, get yourself some cool sunglasses, and I will see you guys on the next one. Marcin, out.
Obviously this feels real, but it seems unlikely to be real.